The fourth quarter has started. It's getting colder, winter is coming, and you can see a lot of people slowing down right now. You can see this in the actions that they're taking, in the results that they're creating. They're getting tired, they're complaining, they're retracting into their warm little comfortable bubble. But I believe being comfortable is a real prison. And great things never come from being comfortable. And this is why I, together with the men of my community, go into a period of monk mode. And this is a period of 1 to 3 months of intense focus and discipline, where we are creating results like we've never seen before. And this is also where you can create a new standard of life and a new standard of productivity for yourself. I believe, especially this last quarter, is a season of separation, where most people are complaining, most people are bitching, most people are slowing down. This is the moment where you can speed up, where you can separate yourself, where you can, instead of retract, you can stretch yourself. And it's not just separation from other people. It's also separation from the old you, the version of you that is unfulfilled, the version of you that is not taking any action, not creating any results, not having the results that you truly desire in life. And you can create this radical shift, step into the new version of you by isolation, by monk mode. And the way I go about monk mode is by focusing on this triangle. This triangle consists of the body, the mind, and the soul. And at the center is productivity. Because I believe productivity is at the core of monk mode. Because I'm doing it for the results. I'm doing it to get ahead faster and increase my productivity. And the body, mind, and soul is supporting this center, the center of productivity. So let's get started with productivity as well. So I'll share with you the rules that I create within each of these categories. So for productivity, I create the 3-5-1 rule. And I follow this rule religiously every single time, because most people are overcomplicating productivity. They're focusing on so many different things that don't matter at all. Complexity is the enemy of productivity. And the key to becoming productive is to simplify things. Because you can focus on so many different things and feel productive, but productivity is not a feeling, it's a result. You can see and measure if you're productive or not. And this is where the isolation and separation also happens. So the 3-5-1 rule is very simple. I set my 3 most important goals and I make them very specific. For each of these goals, I create the 5 needle movers. And these are the most important actions and the most important projects that give me the most amount of progress towards these goals. And the last thing, the number 1, is each day I schedule 1 needle mover for each of these goals. So I want to move the needle forward every single day by scheduling 1 task for each goal. And if you want to do more, if you have time to do more, of course do more, but this is the bare minimum. And the beautiful thing about this is it involves the 80-20 rule, because 80% of your outcomes are created by 20% of the actions. And that's why you want to get clear on the priorities, on the needle movers. Now, this 80-20 rule also applies to being productive, because you can focus, like I said, on so many different things that do not make you productive. But at the core of productivity is goal setting, is knowing your top priorities, is planning, is scheduling, and eventually, of course, doing the work. That's all you need when it comes to productivity. So this 3-5-1 rule also involves 20% of the productivity hacks or things you can implement that will give you 80% of the results. If you do this consistently, you will get already ahead of most people. This is the work that most people are not willing to put in. Because winners, they focus, and losers, they just spray. They do all kinds of things that don't matter. And if you are able to focus, like, you are creating so many more results in your life. And this framework is something I look at every single day, every single morning. I'm looking at my goals. I'm looking at the needle movers. I'm looking at my schedule. And then I put in the work to get those results. So this is the productivity part. When it comes to the body, I divide this into 3 sections. It's the workouts, it's the nutrition, and your sleep. So the rule that I set for my workouts is I work out at least 5 times a week. And if you're not used to working out, of course, don't destroy your body immediately. The important part is consistency. So I go to the gym 5 times a week. And it doesn't matter if you're injured. I currently have some health issues as well. So it doesn't matter if you have health issues and you need to make some adjustments. What matters is that you show up. This is the key part. That's why going to the gym 5 times a week for me is a non-negotiable. It doesn't matter how bad my injuries are or my health issue is. It doesn't matter if I only do 20 minutes of yoga. What matters is that I show up for myself, because this is a skill you will learn. I believe how you do one thing is how you do everything in life. So if you consistently show up for yourself by going to the gym, you will show up for yourself in different areas of your life too. You will see a different version of you stepping into different areas of your life. So it doesn't matter if you want to go to the gym, if you want to go swimming, if you want to do martial arts, if you want to do 10,000 steps a day. What matters is that you put in the work. So work out at least 5 times a week. The second part of body is nutrition. And the rule that I have here is stick to a diet. I'm not going to give you any nutritional advice. You can go vegan, you can go carnivore, you can go intermittent fasting. It doesn't really matter, but what matters is that you're very mindful of your input. Because you don't want to put junk, of course, into your mind, but you also don't want to be putting junk into your body when it comes to food. So no alcohol, no drugs, no refined sugars. You want to remove all these things, and you will feel how the fog in your mind will go away, how much more clarity and focus and energy you will have during the day. Because you want to use this body part, the workouts, nutrition, and sleep, to support your productivity. And by optimizing your nutrition and sticking to a diet, you definitely will. And the last part, the third part, is sleep. Sleeping like a baby. And this is also a non-negotiable. So every single element that I discussed around your body is a non-negotiable. You will get, and you want to get, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I personally even lean towards 9 hours because that's where my optimal performance is at. Now, the reason why I said it's a non-negotiable, because most people are getting too comfortable with lack of sleep, with bad nutrition, with not working out. And you can tell yourself a story that, yeah, I have 5 hours of sleep, but I'm still performing good. I'm still taking my actions. I still have focus. I still have energy. But there's a big, big danger in that, because you're so comfortable with your lack of sleep that you think this is fine, that you think this is normal. And you're so comfortable in the prison you've created for yourself, that you don't even know anymore that you're in a prison. And that's the scary part with most people. So that's why you want to make all of these non-negotiables. To recreate a version of you, to step into that new version of you, you have to stretch yourself. And you will realize when you get enough sleep, when your food is good, when you're working out, you will realize what you've been missing all this time. You can only realize when you stretch yourself. When looking back to that old version of you that was lacking sleep. Because that's also one of the intentions that I have with monk mode, is looking back at that old version and thinking, how could I have been living that kind of way? That's how you really know you stepped into a different kind of energy. When you're looking back and thinking like, how could I have lived in that kind of energy for so long? So that's the second element of body. Now, the third element is, and the third category is your mind. And the rule that I set for myself here is, no is my default. Also, no is a full sentence. I want to say no to all the things that don't align with my purpose, that don't align with my goals and my commitments. And this is why creating clarity is crucial around the productivity, the 3-5-1 rule. Because once you're clear on your goals, the action steps, your schedule, you know exactly what you want to say yes to. And you can say no to everything else. You definitely want to say no to people, because I believe you're not going to be moving to a different country right now to go into monk mode. You're not going into a cabin in the woods to go into your monk mode, period. It would be awesome if you do so, because this would be an automatic no to everyone else and everything else. But most people are not going into monk mode like this. So you have to intentionally say no to the people around you. You want everyone to know that you are going into a period of isolation. So when your friends tell you to go out for a drink, you say no. When they invite you to a party, you say no. Or to an event or whatever it is. If it doesn't align with your goals, the answer is no. No is your default. It doesn't matter how much they start complaining. Because this is, again, the season of separation. Most people will start complaining. Most people will not understand. Why are you doing so difficult? Why are you so obsessed? Why do you want always more? Are you never satisfied? And the danger is that you care way too much about what other people think of you. And you stay in this gray area. You're not fully committing to monk mode, but you're also not fully saying yes to going to a party with them. So you stay in this gray area, and this is all, you're carrying all these negative thoughts and energy with you all the time. The intention of isolation is also creating this clarity for yourself in your mind. And you do this by making a decision. Most problems are solved by committing, by making a powerful decision. So if you say yes to monk mode, say no to all the people and everyone else. And let them complain. Like, who fucking cares? They can be bitching and slowing down. You're going to be speeding up. You won't be recognizing yourself anymore after this period, and they will not as well. So say no to people, say no to distractions. The scrolling on social media, watching all these YouTube videos without a clear purpose. And you know the things that you want to say no to. And you want to create, again, these as non-negotiables in your monk mode plan. So this is the mind element that I focus on. No is my default. And the last element is the element of your soul. And I set the rule for myself to journal at least 20 minutes a day. And I often go into journaling for an hour a day, easily. But the minimum is 20 minutes a day, because he who looks inside awakens. You have so many different beliefs and patterns that are running you. And if you're going through the motions of life, if you're just living in reaction to life, you have no idea what's going on underneath the surface. This period of monk mode is not only to get ahead faster. This is a moment where you face yourself, where you get to know yourself. And that means taking time to slow down intentionally, to slow down and look inward. Because I believe once you master the inner world, you will master the external world. You're not living anymore in reaction to life, in reaction to other people. You are choosing. And I loved the metaphor of a hurricane, where outside of it is complete chaos, but the center is calm. The center is grounded. And you can see the hurricane as you, where the results that you are creating outside of you, you're destroying your goals. You're destroying your life. But from the inside, you're calm and you're at peace. And you can definitely see this with fighters as well. Because fighters, they have the ability to kill. When they step into the ring, they can destroy you completely. But they are calm. They are grounded. They are not reactive. The moment a fighter gets reactive and gets over emotional, that's when he loses his center. And that's when he usually messes up. So this is you mastering that center, staying grounded in your truth and getting to know yourself. And even answering the question of who am I? And connecting to that truth. And that's the power of journaling, where you can get to know you. It's also that all the chaos of life does not affect you. You can stay grounded in you, regardless of how chaotic your circumstances are. And that's real control. That's real control of life. And that's why you want to also focus on this soul level. So there are a few questions that you can ask yourself when it comes to journaling. So you can just journal about your feelings and your thoughts, but you also want to be very intentional about it. You don't just want to write because you have to write something. So that's where questions or prompts really help. So questions that I often focus on is, what did I learn today? What bold actions would I take if failure did not exist? If no one would ever judge me? Where haven't I been honest towards myself or other people? What things have I been avoiding that I know need improving? And these are just a few questions that you can ask yourself. Of course, you can align the questions with anything that you're working through in your life. And if you have trouble, by the way, this is an interesting hack, a fun hack that you can use. If you have trouble answering certain questions, you can turn them into prompts, because your mind and soul have a way easier time answering prompts than questions, because it feels like we're going to say and complete the sentence. So that's a small little hack that you can use when it comes to the soul level. So just to give you a quick summary of these rules. Number 1, the productivity, the 3-5-1 rule. 3 most important goals, 5 needle movers for each goal, and schedule at least 1 needle mover of each goal each day. Then you have the body section, which is workout at least 5 times a week. Stick to a diet and sleep like a baby. Get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Your mind, no is a default. Your soul, journal at least 20 minutes a day. And know that you can play with these elements. So for some of you, I know when it comes to the mind, a social media detox is very important. And you can, just like with the soul level, you can, instead of journaling, take meditation. But you can feel what aligns the most with you. So use this quarter, use this season as a season of separation to radically shift who you are being and step into that new version of you. So I look forward to hear what you think of this, of the monk mode. And if you're looking for a community that can hold you accountable to this period, click the link in the description below. Apply for the Brotherhood, because we have a community with men who are committing to monk mode. And it's way easier if you're going into this together with the Brotherhood instead of always being a lone wolf. So if you're interested in that, click the link below and hopefully I'll see you there.